Hello, my little mathematicians. Today I'm going to help you with your study guide for mean, median, mode, range, and MAD, or mean absolute deviation. As always, please feel free to pause the video, try it yourself, and then unpause it and check to see if you got it right. And also, there's a lot of calculations in this, so please, anytime you use the calculator, type it in, write it down, hit clear, type it in one more time just to make sure that you got the correct answer, because you're not going to have me to double check that you got it right. Okay. And again, please pause that video from time to time, try it yourself, and then unpause it to come back. Remember, mean is kind of like the average. Median is, think of like when you're driving in a car, you're in the center of the road is the median. So median is the center. So to find the center of the data set, you have to first put them in order from least to greatest, and then cross off till you find that middle number. Now, if there's two numbers in the middle, then you'll find the average of those two middle numbers. So add them together, divide by 2. The range is you take the biggest minus the smallest. The mode, I think chocolate a la mode. I like lots and lots and lots of chocolate. So it's the one that happens a lot. It's the one that happens most. Okay. You can have no mode if they all happen the same amount of times. You can have more than one mode if 2 or 3 or 4 numbers happen the same number of times and they happen to be the most occurring. Okay, so hopefully that was a good little refresher. Now you try. For the mean, you added them all together, 20 plus 50 plus 20 plus 30 plus 10, and divided by how many there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double check that you got all of them. Okay, type that in. So hit pause, type it in. Okay, now when you typed that in, you should have gotten 130 over 5. Okay, and again, when you typed all those in and got 130, I recommend you hit clear, type it in one more time, and make sure you get 130 again. Okay, 130 divided by 5, you get 26 for your mean. If you got that good, if you got that correct, good job. Okay, your median, we need to put them in order from least to greatest. So 10 is the smallest, then 20, then another 20, then 30, and then 50. Okay, and there should be 5 numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect, we got them all. So cross off till you get to the middle. So first, last, first, last. There we go, there's your middle number. Your median is 20. Okay, the range, take your biggest minus your smallest, which is nice after you do the median, right? Okay, so 50 minus 10 is 40. So that's the range of your whole data set. The mode, which one happened the most? Well, only one of them occurred more than once, and that was 20. So 20 is your mode for that data set. Okay, number 2, you are asked to find the mean. So add them all together. 45 plus 50 plus 45 plus 0 plus 60 plus 79 plus 50, and divide by how many there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, I realize that when you add 0, it's not really changing anything, but it's still part of the data set, so you include it. Okay, add all those numbers together, and you get 329 divided by 7. Okay, remember, be pausing that video before I say the answers to see if you got it right. Okay, and you should get 47. Your median, we need to put them in order from least to greatest. So the first number I see is 0. Then the next smallest, 45. Oh, I see another 45. 50. And I see another 50. 60. And then 79. Okay, so double check. There should be 7 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. So now cross off till you get that middle number. So first, last, first, last, first, last. There is your middle number of 50 for the median. Okay, to find the range, again, you take the biggest number, which was 79, minus the smallest number, which was 0. And 79 minus 0 is 79. Mode is the one that happened the most. So 50 and 45 happened more than once, and they both happen to happen the same number of times. They each happen twice. So this one has two modes of 45 and 50. Now, if, let's say, 45 happened 3 times and 50 only happened twice, then just 45 would have been the mode, because it's whichever one happens the most, but they tied. Okay, my next one, number 3, again, mean, median, range, and mode. So for the mean, we want to add all those. 8, 6, 12, 4, 5, 7, 10, and 10. Divide by how many numbers there were. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers in that data set. Okay, you should be pausing it, typing it in yourself. Now that you unpaused it, when you typed all those into your calculator, you should have gotten 62 over 8. And 62 divided by 8, you got 7.75. Okay, always double check the directions and see, does it tell you round it to the nearest tenth, or round it to the nearest hundredth, or round it to the nearest whole number? If it doesn't say to round, there you go, that's your answer, just 7.75. If we don't say to round and it goes on and on and on and on and on, and it's a really big number, I would double check for sure and type it in twice, because if it's more than like 4 numbers, we probably would have told you to round it off. Okay. All right. The median. Find the smallest number in the data set. 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then 7, 8, 10, 10, and 12. Okay, there should be 8 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you notice that I always count to double check that I wrote them all down, because I've seen a lot of times where people accidentally forget to write one, or they put one twice, and then that throws everything off. So always double check how many numbers are in your data set and if you wrote them all down. Okay, now that we double checked that there's 8 of them, cross off till you get the middle number. So first, last, first, last, first, last, first, last. It's between 7 and 8. Now, a lot of you know what's between 7 and 8. 7.5. Okay, but if it was tougher to determine what it was, you take the two numbers that it's between 7 and 8, and you find the average of those. So you divide by 2. Well, 7 plus 8 is 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. Okay, you didn't have to do this part if you could just look at it and know 7.5 is between 7 and 8. But you always have this to fall back on in case you have a brain fart, or it's more tougher than what's between 7 and 8. Okay. Our next one is the range. So the biggest in that data set was 12, minus the smallest was 4. And 12 minus 4 is 8. So it's a range of 8. The mode, only one of them happened more than once, and that was 10. Okay, the last one of these. So if you haven't tried any by yourself, please at least try this one by yourself. Okay, so pause the video, try them out. So you have 9.2 plus 6 plus 6.8 plus 8.1 plus 7.3 plus 7. Okay, and how many numbers was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay, so type all those in, and you get 44.4 divided by how many there were. There were 6. Okay, and you should get 7.4 for your mean. Okay, your median. Put them in order from least to greatest. The smallest I see is 6, then 6.8, then 7, and then 7.3, 8.1, and finally, I'm going to put commas between these, finally 9.2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. Perfect. Now find the median. So first, last, first, last, first, last. So it's between 7 and 7.3. So this one I probably will want to definitely find the average. 7 plus 7.3 is 14.3, and 14.3 divided by 2 is 7.15 for that median. All right, your range, you take the biggest, which in this data set was 9.2, minus the smallest, which in this data set was 6. Subtract them, find the difference, you get 3.2. Finally, the mode, if you look at it, none of them happen more than once. They all happen the same number of times. So then your answer would be none, or some multiple choice say no mode. Okay, there is no mode for that one because they all occurred the same number of times. All right, the next set of questions looks a little bit different. It says, look at the data sets and circle the outlier. If there are no outliers, then circle no outlier. What is an outlier? An outlier is a number that just doesn't belong with the data set. It's kind of like an outsider. It's either way too big than all the rest or way too small. So if I were to put these in order, okay, you have 3, then 4, then 5, 6, 8, and then this 37. Do you see that the 37 is like, it doesn't belong. It's so much bigger than all the rest. So 37 is for sure my outlier. Okay, it just doesn't belong with all the other numbers. Okay, number 6. Can you tell just by looking? Okay, if not, let's kind of line them up. So you have the smallest I see is 14, then 85, and then 88, 92, 95, 98, and 100. Okay, so we have like 85 to 100. Like those are 3 apart, like a little bit more. They're pretty like evenly spread out, except for this random 14 right there. That's so much smaller than all the rest. So 14 is definitely the outlier for that data set. Okay, for the next one, can you tell just by looking? Okay, well, let's put it from least to greatest. So we have 29, and then 36, and then 42, and then 47, 51, and finally 60. Okay, so 9 apart, about 4 apart, 3 apart, 6 apart. And so, I mean, these are all kind of evenly-ish spaced. So there's none that are too crazy. So I would say no outliers for that one. It's not like they're all only 1 apart and then you have this random number at the beginning or end. They're all kind of evenly spaced out, I'd say, for that one. Okay, and then finally, for our last one, okay, can you tell just by looking? Okay, well, let's see. The smallest I see is 3, then 40, 44, 45, another 45, 47, 52, 59, and finally 99. Okay, so we have 40 to 59, like 40s and 50s are pretty close together, and they're like every 3 to 4-ish or even 7-ish. I mean, it's still whatever. But 39, 40-ish, like away from each other, that's huge. And then this 37 away from all the rest, that's huge. So this one had 2 outliers. They had one that was way smaller than all the rest that are chunked together in the middle, and one that was way bigger than all the rest. Okay, so this had two outliers of both 3 and 99. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the next page. Okay. This one says, again, write the range, mean, median, and mode for each of the following sets. Okay. So just like last time, if you hadn't done any by yourself yet, please, please, please try these on your own. Hit pause, try it, unpause it, and double check with us. Okay. For the mean, you add all them together, 32 plus 45 plus 46 plus 131 plus 40 plus 45. Divide by how many there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you add all those together, you should get 339 divided by 6 is 56.5. Okay, so 56.5 for that mean. Again, mean, median, range, and mode. Mean is the average. You add them all together, divide by how many there were. It would be really mean if your teacher made you do this without a calculator. Median is in the middle, just like a median when you're driving in the center of the road. It's in the middle. Okay, so put them all in order from least to greatest and then cross off till you find that middle value. The range, how far does your data set range from? What's the biggest minus the smallest? Mode, think chocolate a la mode. Which one happens the most? I like chocolate. I want lots and lots of chocolate. So it's the one that happens the most. That's just a lame little thing that I help remember for these. So like a Range Rover or a Ranger, like he ranges around from here to there. So how far does your data set go from here to there? The biggest minus the smallest. All right, median. I need to find the smallest, 32. Then my next one I see is 40. Okay, the next one I see is 45. And I see another 45, a 46, and 131. Okay, did I get all 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I did. Okay, so then find the middle. First, last, first, last, first, last. Okay, it's between 45 and 45. There is nothing between that. It's just 45. Okay, and if you got stuck and you had a brain fart, find the average of the two numbers it's between. So add them together and divide by 2. 45 and 45 make 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45. Okay, so that was the median. Okay, the range, how far does it range from? The biggest was 131. That sure is an outlier. Minus 32. Okay, when you subtract those, you get 99 for your range. And finally, the mode, there was only one that happened more than once, and that was 45. Okay, our next one, find the mean. So add them all together. You have 100 plus 99 plus 100 plus 96 plus 99 plus 100 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. I'm not going to write that, but I do need to take it into account when I count how many data values there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 data values. Okay, so when you add all those together, you get 594. And 594 divided by 9 is 66. So that was the mean for that one. For the next one, the median, put them in order. I knew that there was 3 zeros at the start, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the next one I see is 96. And then 2 99s. And 1, 2, 3 100s. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just want to double check. There should be 9 values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. Okay, so first, last, first, last, first, last, first, last. There you go. The middle number is 99. Okay, the range, if you take the biggest was 100 minus the smallest, which was 0, the range is 100. Okay, the mode, which one happened the most? 3 times, 2 times, 3 times. So 0 and 100 each happened 3 times. Yes, 99 happened more than once, but it didn't happen as many times as 0 and 100 did. So both of those are the mode for that one. All right, now you guys get to try the MAD. Okay, mean absolute deviation. So first, find the mean. Then find the distance each data value is from the mean, and then find the mean of those distances. So you find the mean twice within one problem. All right, and that's why we have like mean is in there, mean absolute deviation, and boy, does it make you mad to do these, right? Because yeah, they're a pain in the butt. I agree. All right, so our numbers first are 10, 12, 11, 17, and 15. Okay, those are my data values. So add them all together. When you add all those in your calculator, what do you get? You get 65. And there's how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 numbers. So that means that it has a mean of 13. Okay, so there is my mean. My mean is 13. Now I need to find the distance or difference that each value is from the mean. So subtract those. 10 minus 13 is 3. I know technically it's negative 3, but mean absolute deviation stands for the absolute value of the deviation or distances that each data value is from the mean. So you're taking the absolute value of that. So 10 minus 13 is negative 3, but the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Okay, so 13 minus 12 is 1. 13 minus 11 is 2. 17 minus 13, I should say, is 4. 15 minus 13 is 2. All right, now I need to find the mean of all those distances. So add all those together. 4, 5, 6, 10, 12. And there was 5 different data values. So you get 12 divided by 5 is 2.4. So the mean absolute deviation is 2.4. Doesn't that little table help? Okay, my next one. My numbers for my data set were 5, 12, 19, 4, 23, and 33. Okay, let's find the average or mean of those. So add all those in your calculator. When you add all those up, you get 96. 96 divided by 6 is 16. Okay, so that is the mean. Now we want to find the difference each data value is from the mean. Okay, when you do 16 minus 5, you get 11. 16 minus 12 is 4. 16 minus 19 is negative 3 or just 3. 16 minus 4 is 12. 23 minus 16 is 7. And 33 minus 16 is 17. Okay, so we have all of our distances. So now find the mean of those. Add them all together. You get 54 divided by how many there were, 6, and 54 divided by 6 is 9. So your mean absolute deviation was 9. So which one has a greater MAD value? This one does, which means this data set is more spread apart than this one. And you can tell, yeah, these numbers are closer together than these ones are. That's what the MAD is. It tells you the variability of the data set, like how spread apart it is. Okay, the last question says the mean, median, and mode are all statistical tools used to measure the center of data sets. What type of data set would make the median a more accurate choice than the mean to fairly represent the center of that data set? So when should you use the median versus the mean? What do you think? Okay, and then try to come up with an example. Okay. You paused the video, you tried it. Now you unpaused it, you're back with us. So a data set that has an outlier is when you'd want to use the median instead of using the mean, because the outlier is going to throw off the average, which is what the mean is, right? And so if you simply do the median, it's just going to get crossed off when you find the median. So that's why if there's an outlier, you should rely on the median rather than the mean, because it's going to throw the average off. If you had to come up with your own data set, any data set where one or two values are way less or way bigger than all the other numbers in your data set is going to work. Okay, so as long as you had an outlier, that like a number that's way bigger than all the rest or way smaller than all the rest, kind of like these examples on this page down at the bottom, 5 through 8. Okay, if you had any outliers like that, then it would have worked. All right, you are now experts at mean, median, mode, range, and MAD. Congratulations, my little mathematicians.